This is called Identity in the Shadow. If I were to begin my story about identity, I guess I would begin with, there once was a girl who had short hair, wore somewhat sensible, comfortable shoes, and lived in the land of Subarus. For those who enjoy the meaning of names, my name means gentle spirit, full of grace, which fits well with a quiet disposition and a sensitive nature. When I was growing up, it was simply called being shy. Now, the short hair, it was an accident, a miscommunication between my grandmother, a hairstylist, and me, a 10-year-old who hadn't found her voice yet. Upon arriving at the salon, I handed over my picture of the hairstyle I was hoping for. One look at this picture began a great discussion between the two women as they strategically planned out the best way to get rid of the sun-damaged, chlorinated green swimming pool hair I had acquired over the summer. Now, just to give clarity to the era I lived in, these were the days before the feminine freedom of the pixie haircut. These were the days of long, dried-out, bleached hair, coupled with Aquanet hairspray and 7-inch high bangs. It was a look. All I can say for myself is that at the age of 10, I did not want to stand out, and I did not want to look different than my friends. So you can imagine how surprised I was to be getting my hair cut with my back facing the mirror. There was a lot of cutting and hair flying going on all around me as I quietly prayed in earnest intercession that a vision of a feathered hair bob would finally materialize. So, when she swung that chair around for me to face the mirror, I was shocked to see a strange little boy staring at me. He looked like my older brother, only with lighter hair and less curls. Well, this was not the picture I had had in mind. But wow, everybody in that salon could not stop talking about how darling my little boy haircut was and how much they wished they could pull something like that off. Well, the drive home was quiet, with the windows rolled down. I could feel the wind wrapping around my face and neck, giving me a chill as I realized something was missing. Upon getting home, I hurried and got my swimsuit on and ran outside to the pool to see all my family and cousins outside enjoying the summer day. Double takes and wide mouths began to ripple throughout the long walk to the pool. Loud whispers of, "Boy, is that short," brought discomfort that set into my bones. The desire to hide under the water drew me to stay in the pool all afternoon till everyone left. Finally, I could cry alone, laying on the pavement in the backyard. And my mom had tried to comfort me, but I was in a moment of desperately not wanting to be seen. Laying on the ground, as tears were beginning to subside, I began to feel the wind once again. This time I felt such a warmth surround me that I began to stand up for the feeling of warmth that was coming inside of me. As I stood, the sun shone behind me, giving me a shadow to look at of myself. There I was, in my turquoise green swimming suit, seeing the outline of my 10-year-old figure and the silhouette of short hair. As I breathed, I felt the comfort of the Spirit of God in a way I had never known before. I had peace not only on the inside, but I could feel it on my physical skin. I felt inside out acceptance, love, and an overall knowing I was liked. I've never forgotten this, and I find myself occasionally going back to it years later. I was reminded of it the other day when on a run with my son. Now, when I say on a run with my son, I really just mean we are running on the same road with quite a bit of distance between us. The only way I can keep up is by sharing an earbud with him. He wears one and I wear the other. And when the music starts to break up and disconnect, because of how far ahead he is, he actually has to turn around and run back to me. And then begins again. It's really kind of sweet of him. So this morning, we headed out with the sun at our backs. And what did I see in front of me? There was that shadow again. Me. Older body, pretty much the same haircut. But a different season, yet something familiar in the reflection. I've grown, and yet I've remained. Life has formed me, yet Christ has taken form within me. While I am me, I reflect him. After we hit our mile mark, we make the turn to run back home. The sun shines before us, practically blinding our eyes. As I look up to see the distance between us, this time I see my son's shadow. Identity has yet to be clear to me. I know the basic questions that lead to discovery of self, who we belong to, and eventually the hope of the eternal. But it's the space between that I live, the place between self, the sun, and heaven. A place I don't always see well in, yet I know that eternity is coming. As I seek to find myself within the shadow, the more I discover what can only be described as an untethering from a life shaped by small experiences, quiet traumas, and merciful moments of deliverance. I often wonder if our identity is found in the way in which we are healed. That who we are is discovered by remembering who we once were and then looking ahead to what we can pass on. There is so much I know in part simply because I can hardly handle the sun shining on my back behind me. But one day I will face the sun and my shadow will be filled. It will be filled in with all his glory and color. I'll know him as he knows me. But for now, I still wear turquoise green swimsuits and I keep my hair short. I continue to let the sun shine on me, waiting within for the healing that will one day bring me out of the shadow. 1 John 3:2 says, "Beloved, we are now children of God, and what we will be has not yet been revealed. We know that when Christ appears, we will be like him, for we will see him as he is." Thank you.